This is your Stats Lab Director, Natasha, with a research question for you. Previous studies show that people who prefer dogs over cats report higher levels of extroversion. Is this also true of Mount Holyoke students? Given our sample of 100 Mount Holyoke students, are Mount Holyoke dog lovers more extroverted than Mount Holyoke cat lovers? What analysis can we use to answer this research question? The independent samples t-test compares the difference between means of two unrelated groups. In this example, students who prefer cats and students who prefer dogs. This means that there are different people providing scores for each group. This test determines whether the mean value of the dependent variable for one group differs significantly from the mean value of the dependent variable for the other group. In this example, we're asking, do dog lovers and cat lovers differ in their level of extroversion? So to run an independent samples t-test in RStudio, we have some code in this note, both for running the Levene's test for the equality of variances and for running the independent samples t-test. Before we do either of those things, we want to make sure we do something when we import our data. So I am going to look for our data set. I have it on my desktop in the stats website project under stats practice. What happens when the data preview comes up is it gives us all of the different variables. And what I want to do is make sure that the computer is reading pets as a factor. And to let it know that these ones and zeros actually mean something. So to do that, I'll use a drop-down menu and change where it says character, I'll highlight that so that way it's going to read this as a factor and not just as zeros and ones. And you can see now in the preview that it says character underneath pets. So then I'll go and import the data set. So again, the first thing we want to do is to make sure that to test for the equality of variances, meaning we're going to check to see whether the variances of the groups of the students who liked cats and the group who liked dogs is similar to each other, because one of the assumptions that of the independent samples test is that the variances of the two groups will be equal to each other. So to do that, we're going to type in Levene test. And then in parentheses, the name of our data set. So in this case, stats practice. The $sign, the dependent variable, which is extroversion. Then the tilde sign and the name of our, oops, there's an error here. There should be a $sign between data and IV. So again, the name of the data set, which is stats practice. $sign and pets is our independent variable. So when we run this, it shows us that it is not significant because the p-value is above 0.05. So we don't have to worry about that assumption of the test being violated. We can go ahead and now run our independent samples t-test. And here's the code for running that. So we're going to say t.test, the name of our data set, so stats practice, $sign, dependent variable, so extroversion, tilde, the name of our data set again, so stats practice, $sign, our independent variable of pets. Now we know that there is equal variance because we ran the Levene's test, so we can say equals true, comma, and the alternative is two-sided because in our research question, we just asked if there was a difference between the two groups. We did not indicate a direction. So now we can hit return, and here is our output. It gives us our t-value of -2.26. The degrees of freedom are 98, and it shows that it is a significant test because the p-value is less than 0.05. It's 0.026. We have the confidence intervals here, and now we also get the means for the groups of those who preferred dogs and those who preferred cats. So if we remember from how we set up the data set, zeros indicated cat lovers and ones indicated dog lovers. So we can say that the dog lovers from our sample at Mount Holyoke are reporting that they are significantly more extroverted than those who prefer cats. So that goes along with the previous research. I'm interested in this research particularly because I have one cat and two dogs, and I love them all equally. So I don't know what that says about my levels of extroversion. But in any case, remember until next time, don't be mean, be above average.